Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and in today's video we're going to be doing a granny square tutorial. And the reason why I feel like as a crocheter you should know how to make a granny square is because once you learn how to make that one square, you can turn this into so many different projects. I like it specifically for like blankets. It's fun to change the squares. You could definitely make like a grid pattern out of them in like a bigger format a lot faster than like individual stitches. You could make bags, you could make hats, like the possibilities are really endless. I've seen people make animals out of granny squares. So when I say that you need to learn how to make a granny square if you don't already, just keep watching because you're gonna thank me later. Trust me. Okay, so first, ignore my nails because they're looking a little bit of a hot mess. A lot of a hot mess. So all you're gonna need for today's tutorial is a pair of scissors, a crochet hook, any color or size of yarn, and a stitch marker, if you want it. So I chose a pink color because I didn't want to go too dark like a black because that would be a little bit difficult to see. And I didn't want to go too light because I didn't want like the white to blend in. So I thought that pink, also being super cute, would do really well. I don't know why I just explained what color I chose, but this is the color I chose. So I'm using a 4mm hook, if you can see that. Yeah. And you can use whatever size you'd like, just know that your square will come out different. Like not, the size of your square will change depending on the size of your hook, also the in-betweens. I'll show you. So there's many different ways to make a granny square. I'm just going to show you the way that I like making it the most. I've made other kinds and they're really nice, but I feel like this one is definitely the most beginner friendly and pretty fast to work up. So we're going to start with a magic ring. And then I'm going to do, so yarn over, and we're going to do a double crochet. Double crochet, double crochet. So now that we have 3 double crochets in our magic circle, I'm going to chain 2. Ew, if you can hear the yarn squeaking, please ignore that. It sounds terrible. So after I chain 2, we're going to go ahead and do 3 more double crochet in the magic ring. Chain 2, 3 more double crochet, chain 2. Now, where you have like the chain 2s, that's going to be the points of your square. So after we do this last chain 2, we're going to have 4 clusters. So we'll do it one more time. Double crochet, double crochet, double crochet. So we're going to do chain 2 for our last one. Now you're going to pull this closed, and then where we started, you're going to go into that first stitch. Oh. And you slip stitch. I feel like it gets a little bit easier to see the square because for me when I first started it, it just confused me a lot. Yeah, if you pull it pretty tight, you can see that there's each of these little gaps on the corner is in between your clusters, and those are going to be your squares. So then so this part is pretty important because it balances out the square. So you're going to rotate your square like that, And you're going to go ahead and do 3 double crochet in that chain 2 space, like the gap. 2, 3. So since we're in a corner, we're going to chain 2, and then you're going to go back in that same space and do 3 more double crochets. Trying to make sure you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay, and then you're going to chain 2. So see, we have the corner space again. I'm going to go ahead, go into the next. So where you have your clusters where you did your double crochet, you're not going to be crocheting in any of those. You're just going to be crocheting basically underneath where your chain 2s were. So after we chain 2, in between this next corner, we're going to the next corner. So we're treating it as a corner. Now once your square grows, you'll see what I mean by that. So 1 double crochet, 2, 3, and then we're going to chain 2, and then you're going to go back into that same stitch that you were working in, and you're going to do 3 more double crochets. Chain 2, and then your next corner, I do 3 double crochets, chain 2. Because it's a corner, we're going to go back into that same space and do 3 more double crochets. Chain 2 into our next corner, 3 double crochets. And I feel like at this point you can definitely see the square forming. Chain 2, and since it's a corner, we're going to go back into that same stitch and do 3 more double crochets. You're going to chain 2. Now this corner we already worked in, so you're going to go into that first double crochet, the top of it, insert your hook, and slip stitch. And this is what it should be looking like so far. And then you're going to rotate it again to keep like the balance of the square. And then go ahead and do, so we're going to start working on these outer edges where there's the gaps, right? So when you're in one of these gaps that are in the middle, that are not a corner, I guess I should say, we're still doing our cluster, just 3 double crochets. Chain 2, and now we're going into a corner again. So we're doing, so really what I'm trying to say is when it's a corner, you're doubling up on your clusters. So that was 3, chain 2, into the same stitch because it's a corner. 3 more double crochets into the same stitch, chain 2. Now we're at another in between before another corner, so this one just gets 3 double crochets. Now we're going into another corner, so after our chain 2, we're going to double up on our clusters. Chain 2 into the same stitch. Chain 2, we're in another middle stitch, so you only do your cluster of 3 double crochets. Chain 2. Now we're working into another corner, so that means we're going to double up. Three double crochets, chain 2. Into that same space, we're going to do 3 more double crochets. This yarn is really bothering me. I should have grabbed one that was already winded. Chain 2. We're in the middle, so we're only doing 3 double crochets. Chain 2. Now we're at our last corner. Three double crochets, chain 2, into that same space, 3 double crochets, now we worked in this middle piece at the beginning of this round, so you're going to go into that first stitch of the first double crochet, insert your hook, slip stitch, and this is what your square should be looking like so far. So really it's just the same thing. You're going to flip it, you're going to start in the stitch right, right, the one that you're right at, do 3 double crochets, so we're coming into another corner, so after our chain 2, three double crochets, chain 2, same stitch, 3 more, and then yeah, I mean that's really, you could go around as many times as you like until you get to the size that you desire. Usually I'd probably go around one more time depending on the project, but if you want to just make a basic size, I mean you could stop right here and use those. But really it's just double clusters in the corners and then one on like the in-between spaces, and it's pretty easy. And I think it works out fairly quickly. That's about it. Maybe I'll just finish this round and then I'll show you guys what it will look like if I just stopped after this round. go into that first chain to the top of it, grab the yarn and slip stitch, and say you wanted to stop right here and call this your square, I would recommend chaining 1, pulling it tight. I cut that, and then pull that yarn, and there's your granny square. So anyways, that's the end of this tutorial. Like I said, it's pretty easy. Especially the more you do them, it's like one of those things that you just work on and you don't even really think about it. It's pretty easy. You don't be too hard on yourself. You're probably not going to get it right away. It took me a little while, but really once you get it, you get it. And like I said before, the possibilities are endless with granny squares. You can really make anything with them. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Oh, actually, I'll show you. If you were to just keep going with this, you can make it into a blanket. So like I said before, you can really make anything out of a granny square, including a granny square blanket, and I think they're very easy to work up and pretty fun, especially when you get into like color changing and things like that. Why is my closet door open? That looks terrible. Anyways, I'm going to show you this project that I've been working on for like honestly way too long because I keep putting it to the side, but it's one of those things that you can pick up and work on when you're just watching a movie and you don't really want to think about any like counting stitches or anything like that. It is actually for my sister, and I've moved it so many different times. I'm like, oh, I'm going to give it to her for Christmas or her birthday, or it just keeps getting pushed off, and I really do need to finish it for her because it's coming out really cute, and I think she's really going to like it. But I'll show you guys. This is how big you can keep going. This is how you can just keep going that same method with this granny square. This is what it looks like so far. And it is granny square stitches, as you can see. That same exact method that I showed you. I don't know, and then you start color switching, which is like really easy. Yeah, so start with the tiny squares. You could even sew them together and make a big blanket out of that, which I've done that before, especially when I was like a beginner. And then that kind of blanket, I think it just looks super cute and it's fun and relaxing. So yeah. I hope this tutorial was helpful. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and if you like beginner friendly or any kind of crochet tutorials, make sure to subscribe. If you stayed to the end and you enjoyed, like this video. It really helps me, and it makes me feel like I should keep putting out videos, even though I'm not gonna stop. I'm not gonna stop. Yeah, so hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and thanks for watching. Bye!